Well, welcome. Okay, so when you're doing budgets, now the kicker is with budgets is that, well, you got to have the time that it takes to do them. You also have to have the costs for the materials. So the costs and all that stuff, I don't know how much you know or how much you're involved. So I'm going to treat you, and we're going to treat this plan consistently learning and upgrading and updating, okay? So line item budgets, LIBs, are extremely important to our company. Now, as we move forward with the Aspen Development Corporation, we have to have our budgets dead on, and it's going to be a moving target. So what we're doing is we're putting money in contingency. But just as an introduction, you're going to go through each line item, and we also had a renovation budget that we were working with, a training. You can go through that training, and then you should go through this training, and then maybe back to that training, and then this training, and really get a good idea of what you're doing. Or you can just do it like I do, and just start doing budgets. And follow my lead. You're going to make mistakes, and you're going to be confused, and it's going to be frustrating. I've been doing this stuff for 40 years, and well, not quite 40. I started when I was about 6 or 7, cleaning up job sites up for my dad. But just to give you an example, we're on a learning curve, and as soon as you and I and our company figures out that standard, that format for each line item, as soon as we've done 1 or 2 houses of these new construction, we'll have really honed in those prices, and we'll gain some momentum. It'll become really easy, comparatively speaking, and not as time consuming and not as frustrating. So I want you to, first of all, I want you to make a commitment to me and to you that you're going to commit to this. And you're going to be frustrated at times, and just review each video over and over. There's still going to be questions left unanswered. So what you do is you send me an email. Say, hey Todd, I just don't get that concrete footers are 16 inches by 10 inches deep. I can't figure out how to do the cubic yardage on that, or whatever the question may be. I can't figure out how you get the framing hours per linear foot. If there's a door, you add this, but it's just straight for linear foot. So you're going to have some questions. We're going to answer them. You and I are going to work through this together along with Chris Castro, and we're going to figure out exactly how to hone in on these budgets so that they are as precise as possible. And by the way, once we get this done, you and I are going to be bathing in the sun of a beautiful day, because this is the toughest part of budgeting, finance, fiscal matters. This is where we've been just beat up for years. Everybody is in this business. So we need to just really hone in those numbers, hone in that time. I'm one of the only people, I think, out there that actually allocates the specific time for a specific task. And that is our underlying theme here, and that's what's going to make us leaps and bounds greater than our competition. But it's about you allocating that time, okay, right? So call me with any questions. But LIBs, so the first thing is, the first training is structural. It goes through what you need: structural, engineering, plans. It just goes through plans. You have to have a pretty good set of plans before you can move forward with your LIB. Now, so Gil or whoever's in the CAD department working on plans will provide a set of plans, and we can go off really rough plans and then make a lot of assumptions. So I don't want you to get caught up like, hey, I don't have a perfect set of plans. You don't need a perfect set of plans. But before we submit, we'll need a perfect set. But if I'm asking you to get a rough budget together, I need to do the best you can with the tools you've been given, okay? So the first thing is plans. What do we have to work with? Then number 2, do the best line item you can. Best LIB you can with those plans. Those plans. Now, once you do that, and you do the best you can do with those plans, what I'll do is I'll review them, or Chris will review them, or the PM, whoever's on that project. It's probably going to be me for quite a few years. And then boom, we'll do the plans, we'll review your line item budget, we'll make red lines, just like we redline the plans to change, move this over here and change that, and a different finish here and finish there, and we're going to make the cabinets this way instead of that way in the kitchen. And so there's a lot of change orders that go through. The very, very first set of plans to the plans you actually finish with, are, you could change 6-7 times. 2 or 3 times is about average, okay, just to let you know. So when you get your first initial budget and you're working on your budget summary, your line item budget summary, which is an LIB, you will literally, you'll do the best you can, then you'll send it back to whoever's reviewing it for the field, and then they'll allocate, say, oh, no, it's not going to be that much, it's going to be less here, more there, and we're going to change the, the footer's going to be bigger, and the stem walls are going to be taller because we're adding a basement. Instead of 4 feet, we're going to make them 8 feet. So there could be just multiple change orders. We could be going from prefab trusses to framed, 2x12 rafters, which is framed in roof instead of a prefab truss system. So it could be just numerous things. We could change from doing a hydronic system, which is Intran or radiant heat, to a forced air system, which is, you run your heat runs and duct work, and it's actually on a blower. So a lot of variables there, right? A lot of variables. Even including the exterior, your landscaping, your exterior finishes. So beware that you're going to do that budget once. You're going to revise it 2 or 3 different times. And when you revise it, it seems like it's going to be frustrating. It's not. It's just a part of the process. Honing in on that specific project and the exact finishes that are going to make it absolutely wonderful, right? So get excited because this is awesome. Building homes is awesome. Developing property is awesome. But as far as this introduction is concerned, I wanted to take a little note from you and make sure that you're on par with me, and just knowing that it's not a perfect system and you're going to have questions, and go ahead and ask them. So a real quick recap. Get what plans you can. Do the best line item budget you can with the set of plans that you have. Then send those to the field review. Send over to field review. Field review. Now, field review is the guy that's building it, right? The developer, the builder. That's me. In our company right now, that's I'm doing it, or the representative, in the CAD department, which is Chris Castro, is doing it, or Christine might be assisting in it. We're going to have developments all over the country and the world, like Camagüey Island. So I'm not always going to be available, but I'm always going to be available. But I might not always be a reviewer. But I'm always happy to take a look. And I'm always an email away. And as of August 6th, I will always be in office 5 days a week. No longer in the field for weeks and weeks and weeks at a time. So very exciting turn of events for us. And this is going to be incredibly lucrative, is becoming incredibly lucrative. So a lot of bonuses out there for you. But again, just take your time, do the best with what tools you have, what information you have, and then we'll revise and revise. And as time goes on and we get 2 or 3 of these under our belts, we'll have a perfect system. And like I said, be very aware of the time, divided by $25 an hour, whatever the labor is. Your materials, be very specific about your materials. Test the costs online. So if you're looking for a hanger that's outlined in the structural plans, the S1s, take a look at those hanger prices. Make sure that those hanger prices are on. Make sure that those prices for microlambs is on, per microlamb per linear foot, per TGI 210 per linear foot. Whatever it is, make sure your prices are close. And you can do that quick research, on Google. Google Colorado Home Depot, Colorado Lumber Yards, Colorado, Ferguson Plumbing Supply, whatever it is. So not hard to double check those numbers for your materials. But until next time, and until I get that email from you asking and inquiring about this, that, or the other, I'll see you on the next one. And thank you.